Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, and welcome to another video. So this is going to be some more new format testing for the upcoming July 2021 ban list, and this time it's going to be me playing Sky Striker Orcust, which is a deck that actually several of you guys did request to see in the comments of yesterday's video. So if you are interested in seeing any particular decks or matchups under the new ban list, feel free to let me know in the comments, because my friends and I have kind of just been messing around, and we will be happy to just kind of try things out. But yeah, this is Striker Orcust. Obviously, it's not anywhere near as strong as it was when it was dominant back in late 2019. But that being said, I think the Striker package is still pretty cool to see, just as a way to kind of accrue more advantage. I did actually make the Striker engine relatively compact compared to the Orcust stuff, so it is fundamentally Orcust still. So it's pretty similar to like Orcust Eldlich in its control gameplay, but just with Striker cards instead. Not really sure how viable this build is. I think it's an interesting idea, but I'm not really sure if it's like the way to go for Orcust. But something worth testing for sure. And then our opponent is actually Nick here, very good friend of mine. He actually just recently started his own YouTube channel not too long ago, so definitely show him some love. I will leave a link to his channel in the description box below, so you can go subscribe to him. We actually did record I believe like an hour-long video, just kind of talking about the format and the different decks in it, as well as just our general thoughts on it. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, feel free to go ahead and stay tuned for that. It should be coming out in the next couple of days or so, if not already. But yeah, let's get started without any further ado. I accidentally clicked next play there. Also, didn't mention, but you read the title. He's on Salamangreat, which is a deck that got helped by the ban list. So he won the rock, paper, scissors. He's going to be going first, which is, really, really not surprising at all. He's going to start things off with two Desires, Spinny, Buffalo, and Debug. So this hand is pretty good for sure. It can draw 4 cards via Buffalo Desires. Spinny, of course, is a great card to pitch off of Buffalo. And it's great because Spinny was being cut down to 2 with like Mirage Stallion being gone, but now that's back. Level 3 extenders are much, much better, so we might see people play 3 of this again, alongside things like maxing out on Foxy as well as Sea Archiver. Or like not max Sea Archiver, but including Sea Archiver again. But yeah, this hand very, very strong going first. And then our hand going second is going to be Orcust Nightmare, Fossil Dig, Foolish Burial, Skullmeister, and Scrap Raptor. So you can see that we are playing several of the scrap cards, but we aren't playing the full scrap combo. No Golem, no Crystron Rosenix, none of that. We're just trying to make sure that we maximize or open a starter pretty much every single game that we can just normal summon and get Orcust pieces into the graveyard. We're not playing like 12 of them between these two and Recycler and Girsu, but we are just playing a good number of them. And I think Fossil Dig is good in this deck because it is a spell for the striker stuff, and you don't really lose that hard to drill anyways, so it's not really that big of a deal. So that was worth including. Meister was in here because I was testing a lure. I'm not really sure on it. I'm still 50-50. It could be good. It also could not be. But I really decided that it wasn't worth banishing a lot of the key starters. And also some of the scraps, or all the scraps, were actually Earth. So I kind of felt like it wasn't always actually live, even though I was playing like 18 of them being Dark Monsters. But still could use some more testing for sure. This was like the second draft of my build, and it definitely is not refined. But he's going to go and start things out with a normal summon of Flame Buffalo. He's going to go into Balinks, which triggers the Buffalo and the Balinks. Gotta love this chain. Chilling 2 Balinks to search, chilling 1 Buffalo to draw, and he draws into Imperm Roar. So he actually doesn't have any extenders right now, which forces him to use his Desires a little bit earlier than he would like to. And he draws into Foxy and Phantasme, but notably he does actually banish Gazelle off of this. So no more Gazelle for the rest of the game here. He's going to go and activate the Sanctuary, and then relink it. He actually doesn't find any more extenders. If he did draw Foxy first and then the Spinny, that would have been at least Mirage Stallion into a far better play than this. But as of right now, he's just going to end on set Roar, set Imperm, Phantasme, and hand pass. We draw the World Wand, which actually completely ruins his hand because we are only playing 1 copy of it. You could argue maybe we should be playing more of this and kind of facilitate the orchestrated return, but I've never really personally been a big fan of playing more cards that are suboptimal to draw just to facilitate things like Allure or Return specifically, just because like you have to draw combinations of cards, which is not always the most reliable, and like if you draw these individually, they're just really bad, as you can see here. So yeah, not the greatest fan. The second World Wand like could be like you can make a case for it just simply because like it has a grave effect as well as some of the second one from hand. So like you might want to play the second copy of this for that reason alone. Like this is always something I waver on, but I was sticking with the one just to try and fit more space for hand traps. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and summon out Scrap Raptor. It does get impermed, so we're going to use Foolish Burial. We're also not playing Bombard, which maybe is worth testing as well. But we're just going to go for Gizmic as our extender and then just try and get some more pitch fodder or ways to just pitch these into the grave via our Link monsters. So we actually do, I believe, yeah, we banished the one of Engage off of this, which is unfortunate, but does happen. And I think for a little bit here, again, I'm in a Discord call, so I'd recommend, as I mentioned yesterday, if you're playing with friends, if you're testing, do try and help each other out, try and find the most optimal things, let your opponents and yourselves take each other's plays back, because it'll just help everybody more in the end. So I decided not to link, I decided to just go for more damage here, and it does also help kind of mitigate the potential set salad traps, and there was a roar setback there. So main phase 2, we're going to go for a play here. We're going to go into Nightmare Phoenix and then use the effect that's going to go and pitch the wand to pop roar, to which he'll chain Phantasme, and that's unfortunate, but definitely pretty solid for him. We do clear the roar, but we can't really do much else after this. Obviously, if we didn't draw the wand, we'd be in a better spot, but that is just kind of how things go. We're going to grab another copy of Scrap Raptor for next turn and hope that Meister is good enough. So that's kind of the thing with Orcust too, is that its engine by itself doesn't really constitute that many interruptions as of right now. But that's kind of something that I think could be refined with a bit more testing, but also just sort of the general state of Orcust as well, to be honest. But yeah, he's going to draw another copy of Lady Debug right now. So that's a lot of multiples in his hand. But he's going to go ahead and normal summon this Foxy. And it does actually miss, which is great news for us. So it does mean that our Meister does get better here, because we're just going to use it when it goes to use the Spinny. And that curtails his Mirage Stallion Axis. And I obviously don't know at this point that he doesn't have Gazelle anymore in his deck, since it was banished. But, you know, obviously you want to just stop that at all costs, right? He doesn't have any more extenders, so we're just going to go into battle phase and clear our Phoenix. And then set Impermanent Pass. We draw a copy of Guister. You know, we don't really want to be drawing more normal summons, but it's actually okay. We're going to go ahead and normal summon it. It does get Impermed here. So we're just going to go and use our Gizmek and just try and get this Nightmare out of hand as well, which would be great for us. So we like to clear Phantasme, and then we attack into Foxy. Something maybe I could have done was like just attack into Foxy twice, and then I could have made Galatea and then set Orcust to return, because I actually didn't banish it yet. And then I could go and Dingirsu, send away Phantasme, and then return clear to try and draw 2, but I thought this was better because this guarantees that you have Orcust Crescendo, which, you know, having a guaranteed interruption is pretty nice. We're going to go ahead and pitch for Barricade Blocker, and then go into main phase 2, in main phase 2, and then we're going to go and use the Nightmare. This is actually the last thing that we can send off Nightmare, because you can see our one Gyusu is banished, the other one was in graveyard already, and we have only one copy of Symbol in our deck as well. So yeah, that was like all of our Orcust cards, pretty much out of the deck. We're going to go ahead and bring back the Nightmare thanks to Wand, and then we're going to go and link for Galatea. I put it in the wrong extra monster zone, which I fixed, but yeah, it should be in the left one because it would be linked that way. We're going to recycle and go for Orcust Crescendo and then pass. He draws Will of the Salamangreat for turn, which pretty much just secures the game because he only has to fight through one negation, and that's not too hard. So he's going to go and normal summon Lady Debug, and then uses the effect that grabs a copy of Sea Archiver from deck to hand. And then he's going to link for a copy of Balinx, and then he's going to use a Spinny, which I do use Crescendo on. I'm not really sure how I feel about this, because what I was trying to stop primarily was, like, you know, if he resolves Spinny, he goes Sea Archiver, he can go update straight into Access Code without going to Transcode, and they can go Chainlink 1 update, Chainlink 2 Access Code, I can't respond. But it's not game, because, of course, there's Gizmek in Graveyard still. So that definitely is not the greatest for sure. I mean, granted, like he would have to have more extenders no matter what in that case. But I still think that this could have been help maybe for a different point. Just because like the access code, even the double attacking one wouldn't have been gamed by itself through the Gizmek since I was on 65. So I think this was a bit preemptive, probably misplay on my end. Also, one thing I didn't consider was the fact that Foxy was not alive. He used a field effect last turn, so he couldn't like do anything with it there. But here, he just has it ready to go for the Grave effect. So any salad card would have just played through this no problem and got him into the exact same position I was trying to avoid in the first place. So yeah, this was definitely preemptive. Should have been held for later. Again, I don't think that it would have made a big difference because, you know, he had a lot of resources to play through my one disruption. Like he could have maybe just easily forced this with like Heat Leo and then go for something else. But yeah, he's going to go into update and then transcode, and then transcode bring back update. He's going to go into access code here. And then once I see the Will of the Salamangreat come down, I think that's when I do scoop. Because at that point, I realized that I messed up for sure. I, again, don't think it would have mattered that much in the end, but definitely could have been played a bit better on my part. So we do lose that game, and we're going to move into game number 2 here. We're going to decide to go first, and if you guys are enjoying this video, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new here and want to see more. But our opening hand going first this time around is going to be Foolish Burial, Nibiru, Gizmek, Aditi-Crow, and Shark Cannon. So despite the fact that we're playing a lot of starters, we didn't really draw any of them, which is unfortunate. We do have a couple of hand traps plus Shark Cannon, which is fine, but yeah, not the greatest. It's a bit wonky. It does work, but it's definitely wonky. We're going to go ahead. Oh, our opponent's hand, by the way, I didn't mention Nick's hand, but it's a Phantasme, Buffalo, Imperm, Sanctuary, and Phantasme. So not really a great hand on his part either. Like, this is not that good. Phantasme, at the very minimum, at least can put back the Sanctuary, which is fine. But yeah, we're going to start things out with Foolish Burial for Nightmare, and then going to go and use Gizmek, just because we need the extender. And we actually don't banish anything too impactful besides, again, the symbol, because we're actually playing multiple copies of the Crescendo. I believe you saw among our banish pile was the Foolish Burial Goods, because we still are on that. I do want to make a point about that, by the way. That's also a bit questionable, because if you good send Crescendo, you can't use your Hornet Drones token that turn because of the restriction on this. But, I mean, since the Striker engine is so small anyways, I didn't really think that was like that much of a factor. And I consider Foolish Goods to be a more reliable card than Allure, because it just gets you directly to your consistency pieces. And like, it's an awkward scenario, right? If you draw, you know, say Gearsu is your only dark monster, you don't want to bashing it off Allure and like risk, you know, activating it. So I'm not like too big an Allure personally right now, but that could change depending on the anatomy of the deck later. But anyways, I'm getting off on a side tangent here. We're going to go ahead and go for Galatea. He's going to use Phantasme and Summon. That draws into Jack Jaguar and Feather Duster, which is, you know, definitely pretty decent. We're going to go ahead and recycle back the World Wand. And we're going to set Return here, because if we set Crescendo, then he just attacks into our Galatea, and we can't really do anything about that. So I decided to actually just go for Dingirsu, and then we clear the Phantasme, and then I just try and draw more cards. This way we clear it, we have more resources for next turn, and we have a graveyard loaded anyways. So even though it didn't guarantee ourselves an interruption, I felt fine with Nib, DD-Crow, Shark Cannon, because like you can see the return didn't actually draw us into more interruptions, but I felt like against Salad, these three should definitely be more than fine. We're going to set the Shark Cannon and pass. He's going to draw another copy of Imperm for turn. He's going to start things out with the Feather Duster. We're going to Shark Cannon the Phantasme, just because we can. And then he's going to go into Buffalo. Actually, it's a good thing he drew Jack Jaguar, because he had no Cyberses to pitch for the Buffalo previously. But he's going to go Balinks, going to use both the effects. So grabbing Sanctuary, going to pitch Jaguar, draw into Spinny and Debug. He's going to Spinny, use the hand effect, and then summon itself out via its Graveyard effect. I decided not to Crow here, just because like I wanted to play into Nibiru a bit, and also I want to DD Crow something a bit more impactful. Something that'll help with like the recursion later on, or maybe the traps. But yeah, he's going to go ahead and V-Link Balinks there. He actually forgot to activate Sanctuary, just noticed. And I didn't catch this either somehow, but yeah, he forgot to activate Sanctuary. But I guess it was just mutually understood. He's going to go into update. I guess he just went for game here. Update into transcode, into update. I believe he forgot about the Gizmek, though, or he just wanted to get some damage in, but more likely the latter case. But yeah, even regardless, we still had Nibiru anyways, so it was okay. He's going to set 2 and then pass. We draw into a copy of Orcust Crescendo, which is definitely not horrible. It's not bad to hard draw this card. But yeah, we're going to start things out with a Gearsu. This thing's getting impermed all day, so rest in peace, but not a big deal. We're just going to go for our Nightmare play, and then we're going to go into Wand and then bring back the Nightmare. So we're going to go and summon out Galatea. He's going to drop Phantasme, and actually this is where it matters, because he puts back the Sanctuary, which should have been activated since he did relink the Balinks, but we both missed it, so that was definitely just on us. We're going to go into Galatea, or activate the effect rather, where he's going to actually use Imperm on this as well. So yeah, we're just going to go and clear the board here. We did boost our Nibiru with the Nightmare, so just had to recalculate some damage here. And then we're going to set the Crescendo, which is good that we hard drew, because it pairs very nicely with this. And then we're going to pass. So he draws another copy of Lady Debug for turn. I wonder what he would have put back if the Sanctuary was on field like it should have been. Would have been interesting for sure. Maybe he puts back the Cosmic or the Signet Mining. Not sure which one he would pick. But he's going to use Cosmic here on the Orcust Crescendo. We're going to negate it just so it gets into the graveyard. And then we're going to go and see as he summons the Lady Debug. He's going to use that to grab a copy of Spinny, and then he's going to mining pitch the Spinny, which is always nice to grab Gazelle. He's going to drop the Gazelle here. I'm feeling fine again because I have another copy of Nibiru here, so I don't feel too badly about this. He's going to go and send Rage off of the Gazelle and then bring back Spinny with its effect. Again, I want to save this for something a bit more impactful while he gets to play into Nibiru more, because this is already 4 summons, and it'll be 5 after this. So he's going to go and Mirage Stallion summon out the Falco. And I actually wait to Nibiru here just because I want to see what he commits to. Like, I want him to use more resources. He's going to go into Banlist. Yeah, he decides, like, he was going to originally go into, like, I think Wolf, but goes back. We take back plays here again. But yeah, he grabs the Sanctuary that, again, should have already been on field, but it's fine. Gonna go for Wolf, and then he's gonna Stalio bounce the Galatea, which is actually fine because it makes it so that the Nibiru token gets even smaller than it already was. We're gonna DD Crow the Rage when he goes and uses Falco as well. So it was Stalio, yeah, it was Stalio 1, Falco 2, or the other way around, and then we just use Crow to get rid of the Rage. And then here he's gonna Jaguar, and then I'm gonna Nibiru, or I forget if I did that on summon. Okay, yeah, because he put it back in grave, I think I just did this here. I probably should have just done it in response and let him recycle his Mirage Stalio, but yeah, he just decides to scoop it up here because he knows that my grave is full of Orcust cards, and he can't really contend with the follow-up. Plus I had Gizmek too, so it was definitely going to be game. So yeah, you can see kind of the control elements, you know, a lot of hand traps really carrying the game, and Orcust is just really the repeatable engine, and that's what I think is the great part about the Orcust. But we're now going to move into game number 3, and he's going to choose to go first. And just before we get into game 3, want to shout out my patrons as usual. So thank you all so much for supporting the channel. Really does mean a lot. If you're interested in supporting the channel via the Patreon, feel free to support the link in the description box below. But going into game 3 here, next opening hand going first is going to be Foxy, Jaguar, Falco, Will, and Parallel Exceed. So hand is definitely solid for sure. Like a lot of solid cards. It's not like the greatest hand, but definitely works. And then our opening hand is going to be Shark Cannon, Gearsu, Double Nightmare, and Foolish Goods. So this is another case where Bombard would have been nice for sure. So maybe we do play it. Actually, looking at this hand more, it's not that good. I kind of didn't pay too much attention to it. But yeah, there's actually no way to get to Stalio here. So it really is just kind of a rank 4. Or yeah, pretty much just a rank 4 at this point. But he's going to go ahead and use Foxy. I guess it depends on what he hits here. You can see he cited in the artifacts, and it actually does whiff off of this Foxy. So that's pretty sad for him. So he's just going to go into Banlist and then trigger Parallel Exceed as well. So we're going to grab Sanctuary and the other copy of Exceed as well. And then he's going to make Baguska because he forgot to put Dweller in his extra deck. And he didn't really feel like proxying it. Because, I mean, not really. It doesn't really look good to proxy on DB. Like, having to remember it, like, visually. Because the card's already there. So it's just going to be Baguska. But, I mean, that does actually work against our hand because it does turn off the Gearsu, which is kind of what we need here. But, yeah, he's going to relink and then just pass. We draw another copy of Foolish Goods, which is, you know, not amazing. But, yeah, we're going to go and send a copy of Orcust Crescendo. And then we're going to set 2 and then pass. I think I, like, didn't use a Crescendo here just because, like, if it was Dweller, then he probably would have used it in Standby. And maybe I was just simulating if it was Dweller. I think that's what I was doing there. Not entirely sure. Maybe I just forgot, to be honest. But anyways, he's going to draw a copy of Cosmic and then detach for Baguska in Standby phase. He's going to go and use the Cosmic on our dead Foolish Goods, which is great for us. Because we definitely want the Shark Cannon to be alive. He's going to Foxy, pitch the Jaguar, and I'm deliberating on using it here, but I decided that I'd rather cut off the Jaguar axis, because right now Foxy by itself isn't doing a whole lot. I just need to see what else he has, or he's going to commit into. He's going to go into a copy of Sunlight Wolf, and then here I do use the Shark Cannon on the Jaguar, and that definitely was in response to the Jaguar, so he should have put something back for sure this time. Yeah, last time it was definitely on summon, but this time we forgot. But he's going to just null summon the Falco here to the zone that Wolf points to, and then Wolf add back the Foxy. This should be in defense, and we catch it later. But he's going to relink his Wolf, and then go into battle phase and deal 1800. And then here's what we remember. And then in main phase 2, he's just going to go and pass. Yeah. So I think, you know, the Jaguar recycling won't really matter too much in the end. I'm actually not sure if it does. I guess we'll see. But he targeted one of the Balinks, I'm fairly certain. End phase, we're going to use this Crescendo, and we're going to grab Gearsu, and we're just going to summon it so we get an extra body. because right now we need a link 2 just to be able to help out this Baguska, because it actually really is annoying to deal with right now. We're going to go and draw a copy of Scrap Recycler for turn. So we're going to normal summon Girsu. Is an Orcust name, so that's pretty good for us. We're going to go into a copy of Barricade Board Blocker to get this Nightmare out of our hand. We're going to use Nightmare, and then we're going to send Wand, and then we're going to Wand bring back the Nightmare. So there's a couple of different things I can do here. One option is to link these two into a copy of Long Girsu. We can go Battle Phase, Long Girsu, clear Baguska. Main Phase 2, we can go Ding Girsu, clear the Sunlight Wolf, which you can't protect with Balinks, and then go Gizmek into Crescendo, which is not a bad play for sure, because Gizmek would turn into Galatea, right? But what I like to do here is something a little bit different. We go into Galatea first, and then we go and set return. So this is kind of like conflicting with my logic for the previous game, where I like to go for return here instead of Crescendo. I didn't see the line, I don't think, in that moment where it could have actually ended on the guaranteed Crescendo. So yeah, I definitely missequenced this if I wanted to end on that. But yeah, we're going to go for the Gizmek now. And then we go into Long Girsu afterward. We're going to go and clear the Baguska, and then we're going to go for Ding. And then we're going to send the Wolf. And then we're going to return away the Ding. So we did fine with what we had. It's just that could have been a little bit cleaner in terms of guaranteeing that we had, Crescendo access. But, that being said, not really too big of a deal. We do, of course, banish Engage again, which we haven't seen Engage really at all, but we've just seen the other striker cards instead, so it's fine. We set Call By and pass. He draws it to a copy of Jack Jaguar for turn. He's going to normal summon the copy of Foxy. He uses it and picks up a copy of Spinny off of this. So I think he's just trying to go for game because he's suspecting that hopefully I have nothing. And yeah, I think honestly he should probably have respected Nibiru because like Orcust having 3 cards in hand. It could be stuff like this where you just can't use anything at the moment, but it also could be just a lot of hand traps. So I think that it would have been good to respect Nibiru from this position. He definitely had the ability to, just because he was pretty far ahead. But he's going to pitch Spinny, bring back the Spinny, and then go into Stalio. And then he's going to Stalio, summon out Gazelle. And he's going to send Rage off the Gazelle. And then from here, he's going to go into a copy of Balinks off of this Falco, which does trigger the Falco. He's going to set this copy of Rage. I like to not to Call By the Grave here, because if I do, then he just goes into another Wolf, and then he can Jaguar. Oh, no, wait. Oh, he doesn't have Jaguar right here. But he does have... Actually, let me think. Yeah, so if I don't do it, then he could just go into... I'm actually thinking about this more right now, like literally right now. I didn't think about this prior because I just realized that he doesn't have any more wolves. He doesn't have Jaguar to recycle them back. So like my thought process was, oh, he could just relink into wolf and grab back the Rage anyway. But maybe he couldn't because he used the Foxy on-field effect already. And unless, yeah, I don't think he has actually a way to do that. So yeah, maybe it was worth actually using the Falco. But I think when I use using the Call By on the Falco, but I think when I use the Call By is fine anyways. Sorry, that was a little bit that was a little bit impromptu there, but I literally just noticed that he didn't have any of his wolves left. He only had 1. But he's gonna bring out the Jaguar from hand. Oh yeah. Okay, so I didn't know about this Jaguar in hand, so I guess to be fair, that's not something I could have accounted for. But had I done that, then he could have definitely like gone into Wolf here, and then Jaguar recycle the other Wolf, and then relink it, and then get Rage back anyway. Yeah, so in the end, it ended up being fine. But yeah, with the info I had, I could have maybe justified using this, but I think I want to save this anyways for like the Wolf itself, perhaps. But yeah, he's gonna go and link off into another copy of Wolf. The other thing to save this for was potentially an update jammer, but like not at this point since he already used Stalio, of course, but just in general, that's something to kind of consider. But yeah, that's not the reason to not use Call By in that specific instance, because the Falco already was after the Stalio resolved. But moving on here, he's going to go and Jaguar, and this is where I do decide to use the Call By the Grave on it. And that time it does stay in Grave since it was negated. And here he's going to link into Lingaribo. So I guess this could have been the third Balinks. But yeah, I don't think Jaguar not recycling the Balinks earlier mattered. So it's fine. We're going to go and see the Wolf add back the Gazelle. And then he's going to attack for a fair amount of damage here, 4,100, I believe. And then going to pass in this. So I think I could have prevented the Rage if I call by on the Falco, but then he would have had, recovery with the Jack Jaguar, which again, to be fair, I didn't really know about. But yeah, some interesting kind of decisions there. Maybe the call by was, maybe it was a bit late. It ended up working out, but I'm not sure if it was the correct play in the moment. So let me know if you guys would have made a different play with this. I know it's kind of like a lot to talk about for just one card this late into the game, but it's these kinds of decisions that definitely could make a difference. So I would like to hear your guys' thoughts if you have any specific opinions. But we joined a beer for turn on time as usual. So we're going to go for Hornet Drones, and then we're going to actually use it to try and force out the rage that we know he has. So we're going to go Kagari, and then we're going to add back the Shark Cannon. I didn't actually have to add back Shark Cannon. I wanted to go Unicorn. I could have just done Phoenix, but I wanted to use Unicorn here, I guess. We're going to Shark Cannon back the Wolf, and then go into Unicorn. We're going to target the Rage, and then he's going to go ahead and use it. This wasn't re-linked, remember, so he can't like target it and then pop up to 2. So yeah, that's why I couldn't like target the Wolf to force it, because he could just let it go and then use the Rage, sending away like Stalio. That's why I had to do it there, or do it that way. But he's going to go and trigger Gazelle off of this, and then use it to send a copy of Roar. And then from here, it's actually game, which it takes me a long time to realize how this is game, but it's actually extremely simple. So we're going to go ahead and Recycler send Symbol, and then we're going to go and Symbol, bring back Galatea. We're going to Galatea, recycle back, and then set Crescendo here. We're going to go into Nightmare, into Wand, and then Wand bring back Nightmare. And then we're going to link everything into Zeraboros, because we are playing this. And we're going to use Gizmic again, which puts 27 in our Banished Zone and 2 in his. And this is 5,800 additional attack. So this Zeraboros is on 8,800 attack. So we just attack over this Lingeribo, and that is the game. So yeah, that's actually going to be it. We kind of just mess around here at the end. But yeah, so we do win this matchup 2-1. Pretty close, actually. It did actually feel a lot like 2019, but yeah, I don't really know if this is the best way to go for Orcust. Certainly the build can be improved, definitely. I think that maybe you could go and play more Orcust cards, just because, the time like I drew Double Nightmare or the times I drew like Wand were really just not good. So yeah, definitely maybe you could add second Wand, add Bombard, stuff like that. Really just help things out there in that department. But yeah, overall, I don't think this was a terrible showcase of the deck. We didn't see Engage do really anything at all, but that's kind of just how it is, right? It's realistic. You're not going to see Engage that much when it's at 1, and the Hornet Drones is also at 1, so really it's not too much. Like my striker package, I'm pretty sure is just like Hornet or Engage, Hornet, Widow, Shark all at 1, and then I'm pretty sure I'm siding into a jamming, but. Yeah, I mean, I think really Striker Orcust is not going to be what it used to be, and you can't really build around just the engaged draws when you have such a low chance of seeing it. But yeah, and then as for Salamangreat, because I didn't really talk about Salamangreat too much, but this deck definitely, it does a lot of the same things in all honesty, but having the flexibility to go into Mirage Stallion definitely is nice, just because like, you can get easier access to like the traps, or to like just your general combo pieces, which is nice. So it's good to have more options there. I'm not sure if you have to like accommodate a lot of space that you would otherwise for hand traps to play the level 3 extenders. I'm unsure about Peril Exceed as well, just because like if you are fixated more on the Stalio, maybe it's better to just play like the 3 extenders, stuff like the Archiver, which we did see, but like maybe you just play more of those types of cards. But who knows? That's like something that's worth testing as well. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Subscribe for more informative and competitive content. If you want to, you can follow me on all social media platforms or support me with links in the description as usual. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.